The rest of the book of Joshua is warfare. Joshua and other leaders lead Israel against their enemies and God had told them, and this is an amazing thing here, a lot of people are bothered by this, God told them to kill every man, woman, and child in the land of Canaan. What people don't realize is that Noah, back in Genesis, had cursed Canaan. And so all Canaan's tribes are under a curse. And they were all idolaters. They were all very evil. And God tells the Israelites, kill them all. Now, God had already done that in the flood. He'd killed everybody in the world except 8 people who passed through the flood in an ark, Noah and his family. So, God protects his people while destroying his enemies. And that's what happened back there. So here, Joshua destroys all these people, and there were giants. You can read about this. There was a guy back in the early part of the Bible that had a bedstead made out of iron that was 13 and a half feet by 6 feet. Imagine having a bedstead made of iron that's 13 and a half feet long. This was a gigantic human being. And there were many giants back there, but the Israelites killed almost all of them. Giantism is still in our gene code, just as pygmyism is. Back in the early 1900s was a man called the Alton Giant, who was just under 9 feet tall, who would walk in parades and so on. You can read about him. But these giants were destroyed, and a man named Caleb, who was Joshua's friend, who was another faithful Israelite, destroyed a whole tribe of giants to take over the land called Hebron, or it looks like Hebron to us, but it's pronounced Hebron. And so the rest of the book of Joshua, the last half, is the division of the land among the 12 tribes. Each person in Israel got a piece of land. This was God's promise, except for the Levites. The Levites were put in the cities. They were the priests, and they were provided for by the people who would bring their tithes to the temple or to the tabernacle, and it would be provided for the priests through the payments that people made with their tithes. And so the book of Joshua ends with Joshua preaching his final sermon, telling the people to follow God and not follow the idols that were in that land. And he says, as for me and my house, we will serve Yahweh. We will serve the Lord. And he wants all of us to do the same. And at the end of the book, Joshua dies and is buried in his home area in Shechem, right in the middle of Israel. That's where he set up his camp originally and divided Canaan into 2 parts so he could conquer them.